Well, hi there. Didn't see ya. How stupid. Fuck it. We're live. Alright. So, as you may remember, we left off last time in the Hunter's Dream, having just defeated the blood-starved beast that unlocked access to the Chalice dungeons. Excuse me. And I went ahead and ground out a little bit, and I'll show you where I'm at. I put 3 points into vitality, another point into skill. I also bought the stake driver. Trick weapon fashioned by the workshop heretics, the powder kegs, favored by the retired hunter Jura. That was the dude sitting up top the tower on the big-ass Gatling gun. Stake driver, with its queerly complex design, violently drives thick stakes into the flesh of foes. The stake driver allows for high damage critical attacks, but is difficult to use and leaves its wielder wide open. But none of this should bother a mere powder keg. So we're going to put that on. I'm going to show that off real quick. So you get it, and you basically get somewhat of like a short sword kind of moveset. Just these like slices. And that's short too. That's about it. So when you go to trick it, like you would with normal weapons, you hit L1, it locks in a charge. It's not obvious what that does at first. So instead of your swipes, it becomes like a short. So when you hit L2 like that, it discharges it. And that does fine, but the big thing is when you hold it. One more time, boss right here. This is a fun weapon, but it is harder to use. I'll probably play around with it for a little bit once I get it upgraded and everything. The other thing I picked up was the repeating pistol and the flame sprayer. So a repeating pistol typically used by healing church hunters, crafted with mostly metal parts and exhibiting a complex design. This is your gun for whenever you actually want to do damage with your bullets. It's not... I mean, there are builds for it. It's not really something I typically go for. But there are totally viable builds for if you just want to do straight up blood tinge damage. Pardon. And for your regular use, this is going to be the gun to do it. Now, it does consume 2 bullets at once, so you only get 10 shots with it with your standard runes, which at this point in the game, you don't even have access to runes. And then, of course, the flame sprayer. Special weapon used by certain members of the healing church. Spits searing flames by using blood-imbued quicksilver bullets as a special medium. Not the most efficient weapon by any stretch, but sometimes a sea of flame is just what the doctor ordered. Besides, the beasts of Yharnam can always use a good cleansing. It's a flamethrower. That's all it is. It's a flamethrower. And it even straight up says, it's like, yeah, it's not efficient at all. You got enemies that are oiled up and you just want to deal like a mass pop of damage to them, yeah, that's good. So, a couple of things changed in the world by going and fighting a blood-starved beast. We're going to get to those. But first, I want to see what we're at. Okay. So, if I want to go to do a chalice run, I'm going to need some more blood echoes. So, we'll put that off. You don't need to do those, like, as far as just regular gameplay goes, you don't ever need to do them. They are useful, but they're not necessary by any stretch of the imagination. So, we finished Old Yharnam in the Church of the Good Chalice. What we want to do is go back to the Cathedral Ward because a couple of things have now changed. So I think we're actually going to be looking for 3 specific things. One of them may not have happened yet. Just straight up might not be there. If it's not, that's fine. We'll run it a little while and see if we can get it to trigger. So right off the bat, that door is now open. That door was not open beforehand. The only way we could go was down to Old Yharnam. Now, there is a way around that, is if you save up 10,000 blood echoes, you can buy a key that will open the gate up those stairs. Well, I'm whiffing. I'm whiffing bad. And there we go. I was wondering where we're going to get that. It took a while. So, at the top of the stairs that guy's at, there is a large gate. If you have this emblem key, you can open that gate and bypass having to go to Old Yharnam whatsoever. Old Yharnam is not necessary for the game. I lucked out on that. Okay, so you just run up this honest badass stairway and you just come right here. Try to open the gate and it says only a special emblem. There's actually a mechanism to open it right there, but unless you have the key, you can't use it. And what'll happen is if you present the emblem key, the little messengers will open it for you. So, I mean, it's kind of neat. And a lot of the Souls games have that. So, that door being open is the first thing we're looking for. And that's going to be our main method of progress for now. Next off, we need to check over here immediately to the left. And the answer is no. Thing we're looking for, not here. So we need to dispatch this fellow, because the next thing we're looking for, I know for a fact, is right here. Nope. And there we go. That guy is insanely strong for right now. So strong that he gives you twin bloodstone shards, which I told you last time were what you need to get your weapons from level 3 up to level 6. He gives an upgrade material that no other enemy in the game at this point drops. That's how strong that guy is. And honestly, on your first encounter with him, you're supposed to die. We're going to run back to Yharnam. Not to Yharnam, sorry, to the Hunter's Dream, now that we have our blood echoes necessary. And we're going to perform a chalice ritual. They give you the amount of ritual blood you need. They give you everything you need. Oh, what's up, Matt? Man, glad you made it to the stream, man. How's the quality on your end? So what we're going to do is we're going to run through a quick chalice dungeon. This is kind of the one they convince you that you need to do. You don't. But it is one that most people go ahead and do because they don't know what to do whenever they get to the blood-starved beast and they beat it. They're like, okay, well, okay, cool. They get to the end of blood-starved beast and they don't know where to go because they don't notice that the door to the old workshop is open, and they may or may not even see the kidnapper, which would be that hard enemy I just wasted. So they'll look in their inventory, figure out what they got, and they got a chalice. Its requirements are 1,000 blood echoes, which they probably have, and 2 ritual bloods, which were given to you. So most people will come here and do it. And it's by no means a hard chalice dungeon. It's the first one, so it's pretty much free. And the enemies in here will actually be giving you more than the enemies outside at this time will give you. Not by much, but this is a good place to start farming. Really? We're just doing this now? You know what? I've never had a dude chuck a Molotov at me while I was coming off of a cliff, so you know what? Props to that guy. He got one. Whoa! Haha! Nice. So those red enemies are actually interesting. They are being summoned by a character in the other side of that door. And that's honestly the first thing you want to go do, is get through that door and take her out. Because once she's gone, all of those enemies will vanish. And there's our lady right there. You just bypass everyone and get straight to her, and there's no problems. And she'll usually drop quicksilver bullets. There's actually a lot of enemies that drop quicksilver bullets here. Oh. Whoa. Every so often you'll find an enemy who will just die, and for some reason, even though with most enemies you can keep on slashing to get your rally back. There's just a guy chilling over there. You can get your rally back. Some of them will just die, and the game will code their body as not interactable in that manner the second they touch the ground. Alright. You want to find these green lights, which are... Before I before I pulled that lever, those lights were actually purple. So, as soon as you get those lights to turn green, that means you can open this gate, which will lead you to the boss of this floor. Should be the undead giant. Yep. I'm not a fan of the undead giant. For some reason I have a hard time reading him. Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's a strangely hard boss, compared to a lot of the rest of them. For the Chalice Dungeon specifically. I'm not talking about, like, Bloodborne bosses in general. Alright, so he's doing the same thing Cleric Beast does, where he heals whatever limb you broke on him. Yeah, anytime you have him, like, leaking out blood like that, he will eventually do a move where he just crouches down and heals himself. And there we go. Alright, to be honest, I'm actually pretty happy that I managed to kill that thing in the first run. Normally, I don't. Just straight up, normally I don't kill him in the first run. I'll admit that. And then as the theme of the Chalice Dungeons, you beat a boss, you go to the next floor. Now you note that didn't give you boss level blood echoes. I only got a couple thousand for it. Which is honestly kind of a bummer. Oh, hate that. So, in the main game, there are not, and this is for anybody that plays Souls games, there aren't illusory walls until you get to the Chalice Dungeons. And then every so often, that little ambient noise that was playing right there will happen right after you hit a wall and will trick you into thinking you hit an illusory wall. So that's the door we want to go through. So we just have to try and find the mechanism to open the door. Alright, I know what's up with this. Alright. More blood vials, definitely take it. A lot of times you may want to end up doing is just after you beat the boss, go ahead and go back to the Hunter's Dream. If for nothing else, just to replenish your blood vials and your Quicksilver bullets. Because otherwise you just have the amount that you have. I'm not too terribly worried about it. trying to remember where exactly that noise is coming from. Yep, it's that way. Yep. Jesus. All right. I'll take the trade on that. All right. And we made the unlock. So, what you can do now is you can just bypass the entire rest of the dungeon. Like, you finished it. You won. Just make your way to the boss. There was a little bit more left to explore, so I'll just go ahead and wrap it up real quick. So I don't think there's that much. And hopefully I can find some blood vials. Alright. Oh, one. Okay, good. Not nearly as durable as the one I just killed. Yeah, you can tell because he drops the weaker of the two upgrade materials. And this will be a ritual blood, of course. Something not going to be particularly useful to this playthrough until much, much, much later, if I decide to even continue on with the Chalice dungeons. Which I don't know, maybe if I get somebody who wants to run Chalice dungeons with me, then maybe that, but I'm not really going to be focused on it. Alright, got 13 blood vials. Don't quite remember what boss I'm walking into. It's fine, it's one of like 12 things. And it's this boss. Shit. That's fine. Right. Usually the only thing I actually run the chalices for later stage is to get all of the costumes. So like the Madman set and the what is it, the Bone Mage set or what have you. That's about it, but those aren't even that far down the line. All right. All right. I was gonna try and get the counter hit there, but he just decided he didn't want to. Mm-hmm. I always love that bosses or enemies with birdshot can do way more damage to you than you can do to them. Shit. Alright, well, regardless, one down. Oop. Not enough. Alright, these enemies don't have a lot of health, if that's not painfully obvious by now. But due to the fact that this particular encounter has made them not want to bunch up very much, it just makes them somewhat dangerous to deal with. So we get to sit here and watch the lamest encounter of the Watchers ever. Oh look, he's got the Dark Souls moveset. Big guy with a cleaver, just grab both ends of that bitch and slam it to the ground. That's all you ever gotta do. And then they fall into a nice little cuddle puddle and are effectively 69ing each other. Nice. Guys, you go. Next floor. Sumerian Labyrinth. Oh. Man, leave them alone for too long. They're gonna start a soup kitchen, huh? Oh, we got an old hunter summon right here. Trying to remember who it is. Alright, random enemy that has damage turned like way up. That's fun. I get my 3 blood vials back and my 1 quicksilver bullet. Trying to remember who that summon is. Every time, bro. Who is it on this one? Tomb Prospector Olek? Yeah, it's Olek. Ho ho. Hello. And we pay attention to the head. Arcane Haze. Mostly useless. For this run, anyway. Oh! Well, fuck me, boys. Ooh. Fuck me running. Everybody, nope. Gonna have to Zoidberg my way out of here. Okay. No. None of that today. Oh, hello, ghost. Show ghost ass, mark ass, bitch ass. 10. Bitches gave me 10 blood vials. Like, for shit's sake, that's a lot of blood vials. And we start to see a little bit of the problem with the Chalice dungeons, where we're seeing the same enemy again already. Except for this time, his sword on fire. It's okay. He has significantly less health than the boss. So, once again, as before, we hit this. We can scan the room to see if we see anything we need. Nah, none over there. And then we can honestly just head back. Don't need to go up. I'm not really looking for completing every aspect of this dungeon. I'm just doing it to get another level up. And some more blood vials. Hello. Just gonna do that, that's fine. And then we do this, it's also fine. Then he's gonna get all pissy and turn red, but that's fine. We'll just do this. There we go. Problem solved. All problems solved. Oh, that's terrible damage. Well, I won't say it's terrible damage for this type of enemy, but it's bad DPS. That's not as bad. And more arcane haze. Alright. Back out the way we came in. No. There's the door. Alright. So we're currently running 12 insight. So let's go ahead and summon Prospector Oleg. It was added as a free update when the DLC came out, and it will add a bunch of old hunters into the game. Those are NPCs that they name that usually are wearing some specific type of armor or anything. This is the Tomb Prospector's gear. He's using a Kirk hammer and a torch. And, yeah, there's not really any lore to him specifically. Now, you go that way and clear out a little bit more, but once again, I don't care. Just don't need it. I've got enough for my level up. I gained a little bit of insight. And now we're gonna fight an annoying ass boss. Boss that does ridiculously high damage. Oleg's probably gonna die pretty soon. Oleg or me, one of the two. This instance, it's me. Watchdog of the Old Lords. It's one of those enemy types you get more used to fighting in, saying in DS2, like the Royal Rat Authority. Same type of deal. This one's just on fire. And I'm going to just go without using Prospector Oleg there. Shit. Pop 2. Well, that's just a complete and utter miss. So he still hasn't healed his front leg yet. And that's both legs fucked. And that's dead. A little less than halfway down. So I think I'll give it one more shot. And if I don't take him out at that point, then I'm not too worried about it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and back out to the main game. And just continue on. Like, I'll just run back, get my blood echoes and bolt hunter's mark out. damage is so fucking high. Alright. Already got one leg injured again. Now he's going to do his area denial move. Jesus. And this is the main problem. I just don't want to sit here and waste a bunch of blood echoes. But because none of the chalice dungeons are really story locked, you can come back whenever you want to. And once you've opened it, you don't really have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about like paying any extra fee to go back into it. Once you're in, you're in. So yeah, that's gonna do it for that run. I'm just not really all that concerned about beating the Watchdog. You don't really get anything. You get the next level of chalice. So let's see. Go over here to the chalice things. And actually I already got the very next one. So you get the Thumaru chalice, and then you get the Thumaru root chalice, which is one of the reasons why the chalice dungeons are so damn annoying, is because while not technically endless, they sure as shit feel endless. Alright, so I'll put that right there for this instance. Gonna run, pick up my blood echoes, get to another point in the room, and show off one of the better looking graphical animations in the game, to be honest. And there we go. And you just do that to reawaken at whatever lantern you were last at, and then you take the lantern back to the Hunter's Dream. So, I don't really feel like I was missing much by not showing that off. You beat him, you get another chalice. It's not all that great. And you can even see, I'll show it off. You can do a chalice ritual. You get Thumaru chalice, and you get Thumaru root chalice, and then you get like 7 other Thumaru. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, the Glycer dungeons are freaking ridiculous. You get like 7 other Thumaru chalices, but then you have these other little tabs up top where you get the Hintertomb chalice, or the Loran chalice, or the East chalice, and all of them are they're rewards you get from optional bosses. So if I can remember properly, you got this one from Bloodstarve, completely optional. This one comes from... Which one does that come from? No, the East Chalice comes from... Daughter of the Cosmos. And the Loran Chalice, I think, comes from Dark Beast Parl. Which one do you get this, the Hintertomb Chalice from? Hintertomb Chalice. Oh. No, that's just one you actually straight up have to find in the Chalice dungeons. All the rest of the other 3 are from optional bosses. Oh, Amygdala is Ailing Laron, and Abriatus is the Hintertomb. No. That's right, I remember Amygdala giving you one. But yeah, you just straight up get them from optional things. Like, they're not necessary to the story in the slightest. So, what to do? Yeah, I actually have to immediately go back to the Hunter's Dream, because if I don't, the plan I'm about to do will just straight up cost me almost 10 grand in blood echoes. So, pardon this set of load screens as I immediately go back. So, boy, spend these blood echoes and then come right back. And maybe, just maybe, one of the other 3 things we're supposed to see will have triggered. Yeah. More strength. All right. So this is the actual reason you go into the Chalice dungeons. It's where you get all your good gemstones. Like, I'm sitting here piddling around with like 0.02 and 1.4, and one trip gives me a 10.5. Really quick. We'll repair our weapons. And we're going to make sure that I don't have enough. Yeah, I only have 1 of the twin shards. So, that will do it. We got about 3 grand left. What are things running at right now? Whatever. Much like pretty much any Souls game, just run the world with as few blood echoes as possible. Blood echoes, souls, whatever you want to call them. Run with as few as possible, because you don't want to risk dying and not being able to get that shit back. Hell, I was running around central Yharnam just trying to farm for blood vials and bullets, and wound up losing close to 10k just on those 2 wolves up on the bridge. No, it's just fine. I wasn't farming for blood echoes. I wasn't really trying to get any more levels at the moment. I didn't want to come back on camera OP or anything. So, first thing, immediately to the left. Nothing. Second thing, fuck this fellow in particular. Third thing, just do. It's fine. There we go. So, at first glance, that seems like a bad thing to have happened. However, Alright. And we are in Yharnam, where they have kidnapped you and left you with all of your weapons in an unlocked cell. Nah. So, up to this point, it's been very... how do I want to put this? It's very Castlevania meets Dark Souls. You have your standard, you're out there fighting your werewolves. Like, everything has been some, like, Chalice dungeons excluded, because those are... I'm gonna call them basically not canon. Like, they're bullshit. I actually kind of hope that in Dark Souls, if they ever come out with Bloodborne 2, that they just don't have them in there. Or they just implement something completely different. So I don't consider the Chalice dungeons canon. So you're fighting your beastmen and your various wolves and your dudes turning into wolves and all this stuff. And then you get kidnapped by this weird lanky fucker and brought here, where we've got this nice mummified boy. And the furniture is different. Like, it's a very, like, creepy situation. Oh, yeah. That's fine. So, the big thing that is to note here is that if I were to use a Bold Hunter's Mark, which I'm going to go ahead and remove that from there and put it right back on here again, I would just wake back up in that cell. You don't have a way out that you know of. That's kind of the danger of this place. And there's another one of the kidnappers. There's another one right there. So, you kind of gotta figure out how to escape. Alright. So, since one kidnapper straight wrecked my fucking day, I don't think I'm gonna mess with two of them right now. I'm a little low level for that. So, you want to come up here. And be careful, because there's people about. But, lo and behold, it's our best friend in the world, Lantern. And Lantern will allow you to go home. Now note, going here at this point in time is also completely optional. So you had Old Yharnam that was optional. You have Yharnam, which was optional, which if you come up here, you can now go back to Yharnam's Hypogean jail. And you have the Chalice dungeons, which are completely optional. You're not really feeling like you're left with a whole lot of options here. So, people will panic and freak out in the Yahar'gul, they'll manage to waste a lot of their blood vials trying to get through the area, trying to find their way out. If they were a little perceptive, they might note that things there are a little harder than they should be. It's because you're not supposed to be there. You got there by getting kidnapped, which, admittedly, does kind of feel intended with the way you find them, but remember, you have to come all the way out here and basically stare down a dude who doesn't initially attack you. Like, this dude is down off in the cut over here. He ain't fucking with me. Ooh. You round that corner a little too quick, he will. Well, that's bad. There we go. Okay. Spin to win for infinite bullshit. And get what very little bit of blood echoes you had back. So, we already showed it off. I'll quit piddling around with it. This door opened up. You come here. And you get this nice, lovely elevator. Your ass twerks out of control. And, as with all elevators in Souls games, you send it back. What do we get? Communion. Communion's useful. Higher blood vial maximum. It's useful depending on your type of playthrough. A secret symbol left by Carol, runesmith of Bergenworth. Several runes relate to blood, including communion, which raises the maximum number of blood vials one may carry. This rune represents the healing church and its ministers. Blood ministration is, of course, the pursuit of communion. So, alright. Alright. Man, notice there was an area up there I didn't bother going to. That's because you don't need to. What you do need to do is come out here. Now, I'm not going to be doing it yet, but there is an entrance to a secret area right down there. You see where my gun is pointed, right there and right down. I'll show it off when I get a little bit better lighting. Right there. Where my gun's pointed. Well, not necessarily. There it is. It's that door. That is a door you have to get to by falling off of there to there and then falling to there. That brings you to, once again, an entirely optional area. There's not a lot of areas in this game that are non-optional. Like, speedrunning this game really isn't all that hard. Anything is just not dying a million times because you're not grinding out levels. So, alright, Madman's knowledge, always useful, always valued. So, a lot of people would see this and think, okay, well, I'm done, I got the item, but you're clearly not. You can hear something growling. Now, there is a way to go to continue on, but it seems way too far to drop down. And if you went from playing Dark Souls 2 to playing this game, you might think, there is no way in hell that drop will not kill you. Oh, by the way, there's the door I was talking about. Yeah, you just fall from there, which you fall from like way higher. And that's what's making that noise. And there we go. And an enemy that's not honestly all that hard. Hey, note, something unique about him. He's a beast, he's a wolfman, but he's like fully wolf and has horns, and he's weird. He's weird. I don't really got nothing on him. He's an option. He's a boss you can fight in the Chalice dungeons. And he's just slightly harder than what he was there. That's all. So you do, unfortunately, kind of want to clear this area out. There's items about. There's a decent rune. Oh, shit. There's a decent rune you get. Decent for the time frame in which you're currently in. Alright. Give. By the way, here's the trick to beating these guys. You hit them really hard and cause them to go into their transformation, and while they're doing it, you casually walk behind them and bring them to a knee to trigger a visceral attack. Stop. Rumpled Yharnam hat and sweaty clothes. Stop. I don't like dogs in this game. Let's get the item over here. Another Madman's Knowledge. Always useful. Alright. So, our target's right there. That's where we want to go. But we got business down here. Reeks of blood gem? Yeah, it do. Zoidberg! Stop. No. This motherfucker magicking open here. So, since we didn't get to see it, what he'll do is he will hit you with his spells, which will bind you. He'll cause you to, oh no, I can't get up. And then he will run over, grab you, a big long, he doesn't have one right now. A big long tentacle will come out of his head and start sucking insight from you. Fire blood gemstone, useful at this stage in the game. Yeah, he starts sucking insight. The attack doesn't hurt a massive amount, but he can grab you over and over and over again, and killing him doesn't get your insight back. Just doesn't. And our lovely eagle-eyed viewers might shortly recognize this gate as the one that was being protected by two of these ghoulish men up here, which is where I got my shield from. Broham. Why's it gotta be like this with you and me? That's fine. But the main thing is we opened the shortcut. So now, That gate's always open. So that whole area I just went to, you never have to go back if you cleared it out. If you didn't clear it out, well, you gotta go back. There is a reason to go that way, though. I think. We'll do that in a moment. I'll take blood vials. Oh, I'll take a pebble. Hell yeah. Bye. I love the fucking swing away, man. Nah. Alright, so since you've got this opened up, you can start exploring what that offered you. First item, Numbing Mist. Numbing Mist replaces Lloyd talismans in this game. It's an object where you throw it at the dude, and the dude can't heal. Now, that's not as much of a problem in this game as it is in like Souls games, where your basic enemy will use an Estus Flask every now and then, but it will prevent NPC invaders. It will prevent actual invaders, like anybody, from healing, and that's useful. Dude down here is having a fucking party. Shit. Alright, we're at 9,000. Gonna do one more thing. Elevators in Souls games. Always look around. Now, I mentioned in a previous part that I didn't bother going to get a specific item because it was the same category of item as this. The messenger top hat or the black messenger hat. Hat the messengers are oddly fond of. Same line. Nice top hat rounds out any Yharnam gentleman or symbol of preventative hunters of the healing church. The inhabitants of the stump appear to have an interest in adornment. Why not let them be happy and revel as babes? And to that I say, fucking adorable. However, come up here, which you'll get Formless Odin, which is another rune. So we have 3 now. Secret symbol left by Carol, runesmith of Bergenworth. The Great One, Odin, or Aiden. Lacking form, exists only in voice, and is symbolized by this rune. Those who memorize it enjoy a larger supply of quicksilver bullets, human or no. Formless Great One, Odin. Both Odin and his inadvertent worshippers surreptitiously seek the precious blood. But you get this, the Messenger Urn Festival. Accessory adored by naive messengers. The messengers wear urns filled with incense that ward off the beasts on their heads, upside down, suggesting a predilection to the dark. The inhabitants of blah 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 revel as babes. And where are we? We're hanging out up here. My boy. So, as always, back to the Hunter's Dream, where we're going to spend our blood echoes after we wake up the lady. Oh, and for anyone who doesn't know, the doll will totally react to you. those are her 3 emotes. That's all she does. Yes, that's all she does. Okay. I was getting confused because the Shrine Maiden, Firekeeper. The Firekeeper in DS3 does similar thing, but she has a different emote. So, crossing the wires there. Pop another strength. Start getting that damage up. Alright. So, we now have 4 Twin Bloodstone Shards. So I'm going to pop that up, and probably by the time I start streaming again, I'll have both the Saw Cleaver and Hunter's Axe up to +6, which I don't know, I might have another weapon started. But once we get this up to +6, we'll be able to use the Fire Blood Gemstone, where your HP continues to recover +1 per second, and you get fire attack up 8.4%. So it turns your weapon into a fire weapon, which is very useful for the early part of the game. Pretty useful throughout the majority of the damn game. As your damage type on this weapon, when you put fire on it, basically makes it almost every enemy in this chunk of the game's weakness. Anything that is classified as a beast is automatically weak to 2 types of damage more than anything else, and that would be serrated, which serrated, and fire. So if you can utilize both of those things, you will be golden with pretty much any enemy. I'm going to buy that. And there we go. Now lady has something on her hands, at least. Oh, and of course, let's go ahead and repair the axe, for as minimal as that is. And as last time, just spend whatever we got extra, buying some blood vials. Alright, so it wasn't as long of a stream this time as last time, but I think I'm going to go ahead and call it. Before next time, like I said, I'll probably go ahead and get this weapon and the Hunter's Axe up to +6, or, I don't know, maybe not. I might leave them at their current levels to kind of just keep the balance running, or I might make myself OP. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But until then, I'll see you next time. Once again, thanks for watching, and hit that bell, like, comment, and subscribe. All that garbage. Catch you later.